So we'll go for the next concept of the TLC, the final touch of the TLC. Okay, so in the last video, we have seen the visualization of the TLC. So today, so that's will be the end. So after visualization, so we are going to analyze the samples. Okay, we different samples or compounds present in the unknown sample. So this evaluation, as we said, will be can be the qualitative evaluation. Okay, maybe the qualitative or it may be qualitative or quantitative type of valuation. Okay, so qualitative, as we have seen, that it depends on the comparison of the RF values. Then the identification will be taken based sequence on the RF values here. So and quantitative, they also it is also done by the type of direct method or indirect method. Okay, direct or indirect method. So in direct method means directly the solution, okay, spot will be prepared and analyzed by different indirectly. So what do you mean this indirect means the spots will be taken, and you can see that this is indirectly means it is analyzed with different spectrophotometric methods like maybe UV visible or fluorescence. Okay, like this. So by using or colorimetry, so like this. So using the different spectrophotometric methods, so this analyte is been determined what may be the present, what may be present here. So this is what indirect. But in direct, what will happen? So direct, we are using the spot analysis. Okay, so spot analysis, that means you are taking the bands here, which is here from analyte. Okay, and directly we are adding some reagents by which we are going to visualize. Okay, sometimes by the spot area and weight relationship. Okay, sometimes by the spot area and weight relationship. So this also can be done by the direct method. Okay, so this is how the visualization of the TLC is done. And now finally, if you see the application, okay, so what the application of TLC, where the TLC is used. So the application, so TLC is mainly used to determine or the purity of the samples. Okay, it is mainly used to determine the purity of sample. This is what very much important. Okay, so first application, purity of the sample, then identification of compound, definitely. So it is used for identification of the compound. Okay, this is one more important applications. Okay, so in some of the biochemical analysis, in biochemical analysis also this TLC is used. Okay, so this is also very much important. Next, so we can see that pharmaceutical evaluations of drugs. In pharmaceutical evaluation also it is used. Okay, so like this, in herbal or herbal ayurvedic field. Okay, so this has been yeah, this has been used. Okay, so like this. So these are some of the applications of the TLCs. Okay, so even completion of reactions, so like this. Now if you go for this TLC is here we can complete here, but one more thing I want to touch here is HPTLC. This is now the this modernized form of the TLC, that's HPTLC are used, that is high performance thin layer chromatography. So this also is based on the principle of adsorption. Okay, so this also based on the principle of adsorption here, and identification and quantification, okay, of the analytes, okay, sample. The difference between TLC and the HPTLC, okay, so that one we can see we can see that it's very simple, fast, compared to TLC. So it is very fast and it can be done offline. Okay, this is what. Okay, so you need not monitor that, so very easily it will take on its own offline, and there is no contaminations here. Okay, of chromatograms. So there will be no contamination, in the graph chromatograms. Okay, so that may, and second thing is low running cost. low running cost of this HPTLC. Low running cost means just you require around 30 ml of the solvent, that is enough. Okay, but in other cases like HPLC and other things, you require around 100 ml of here only 30 ml is enough for the extraction here. Okay, and this is what. And even if you see the particle size, 7 micrometer. Okay, 7 micrometer, this is very less compared to TLC. 15 micrometer is used for TLC. Okay, so here only 7 micrometer is being. Okay, and thickness also almost 100 micrometer thickness. Okay, whereas we have seen in TLC and all, it is 250 micrometers. Okay, so here also thickness also is very less, thin plate is required. So what happens with this low size? So what type of surface area is increased here? So in HPTLC there is more surface area, so more efficiency and more distribution. So nice separation will be possible in HP TLC. Okay, so this is what. And even if you see the stationary phase of the HPTLC, it is been silica gel 2, as I said, discuss silica gel 254. Okay, green fluorescent 254. This is used as a stationary phase. Okay, which is very good to identify the bands. And other things is same. Afterwards, methodology and all is same as that of TLCs. Okay, and mobile phase, as we have learned in the TLC, same thing is being used here. But the filtration, usually they use the Wattmann filter paper. So while filtration and also Wattmann filter paper is used here. Okay, so Wattmann filter paper is used, and 41 42 numbers. Okay, number 1 or 42 number like this is used for the filtration type. Okay, so it's just like plate here like this. This is also thin plate where silica gel is been coated here, and backside it will be aluminum foil type. So backside this plate, okay, aluminum foil will be there. In the front of that it will be adsorbent coated here. So this is what about the HPTLC. So hope you understood. So here we complete the TLC concepts. Okay, almost all we have covered here. So regarding the thin layer chromatography and what is meant by the HPTLC. Okay, so this is what. So next concept we are going to learn is about the column chromatography. Okay, so new thing we are touching here, column chromatography. Okay, so after column chromatography HPLC, so that will end your unit 3. Okay, so what is this column chromatography? So column chromatography has also some techniques to be analyzed here. So first technique is the frontal analysis. Okay, so this is what in column analysis, one thing technical word comes here, frontal, FRO, frontal analysis. So in frontal analysis what happens? So very rare type of analysis. This is only one compound can be separated. One compound can be separated in the frontal analysis. Okay, so if I take the column here like this, okay, this is a column, and this is a beaker here, and if I put a stand here like this, and these are the bands, different bands like this. Okay, and if I put a solvent here like this, if I put the solute to be analyzed here with saying A, B, C. Okay, these are the three different compounds here, and if I put a solvent here, the solvent will run now through this column like this. So but what will happen here? So having this A, which is more I can say uh, attached to the more attached to the mobile phase here. So A will first eluted here like this. Okay, so we will get come at the bottom of this one along with the solvent. Then in the above you can see here AB. Okay, then so in the top of this you can see here, so second fraction and third fraction ABC. So this is the first fraction, you are going to get A here. Okay, so get eluted, then second fraction you get AB, and in the third fraction you get A, B and C. So this is a, we are placing it here and we are putting the solvent like this. Okay, so A will get first. Why? Because it is more affinity to the mobile phase, so A gets here, but second fraction you are going to get the AB, and third fraction you have to get ABC. So in order to, we can show this in this way also, so like this. Okay, something like that we can show it this way. Okay, if I take this as a here like this, if I take this like this, and if I take this as a like this. Okay, so this is the first fraction here. So here like this is the first fraction. So where I got only a here. So this is only this is a, this is b, and this is c. Now in the first fraction here, what I got here, so I got only a here. So this is what, and this is the second fraction now like this. In second fraction, what I am having here, here a is also having, b is also having. So a and b is having. And third fraction we are having 3 a b c here. So this is the third fraction I am having a b c. Third fraction a b c like this. First fraction, second fraction, third fraction. So this is how the separation takes place in frontal analysis, and you can see that only one component can be separated here. So it's a very most of them they don't use this because only contamination, and moreover only one can be separated the most. So this is what about the frontal analysis. Then one more thing comes here is displacement. Okay, so displacement method analysis. Displacement word itself says that along with the solvent, okay, so you have to use some displacing a reagent. Okay, reagent. So that is also we can do it here, and same thing here also is a column here. So here also we are taking some column. Okay, so like this we are taking one column here. It is this one, and these are as usual different bands here like this. And here also we are keep here same thing, we are doing a solute to be analyzed, to be evaluation, that is ABC. Okay, and we are putting the solvent here along with the displacement reagent, So it is very complicated. We are in this type of this one, you are not going to get the exact filtration here, so very complicated here. So what we get here, so you will get here A, which is very affinity for this one, and the next you are going to get AB, then you are going to get B, then you are going to get BC like this. Okay, and you are going to get C. So in this way the elution takes place. Okay, like this. So what will happen now, A will come first here because it's having more affinity towards the mobile phase. Then the next compartment will be AB, followed by B, and then BC, then C. So you can see here two are separated here, one pure form, that is C, and that is A. Okay, so A and C are found in a pure form, but it is having some contamination also, BC and AB. Like then B also we can see it's a pure form, we can extract here, is it right? So this is what happens here, and since and this is very difficult here, so C remains top because it is having the more affinity for stationary phase. So this is having the more affinity for mobile phase, and this is having the more affinity for the stationary phase, and that's why we can separate it completely. Stationary phase also we can separate it completely, A also, but in between we can see that there is no proper separation. So this is how this type of analysis we call it as a displacement analysis. Okay, so this is what, so stationary phase, so I displaced the solute from the stationary phase. Okay, main thing is C can be displaced by the stationary phase by using some stationary reagents. So one more thing is there, so last one, so that is your elution analysis. Elution analysis. Okay, elution analysis, type of column chromatography. So frontal analysis over, the displacement and elution. So elution also same thing, you can see there is a column here like this. Okay, bands like this, stand will be there. Yeah, so in different you can see like this columns here. Again here you are going to see A, B, C is put, and here solvent is been put here. So here you are going to get here like this, A is separated, B is separated, and C is separated. Very simple it is. So but when separating A, B, C separately here in elution analysis, what happens here, there is a small differentiation here because of the solvent molecules. Okay, like this. So B is there, then again small here solvent molecules like this. C is there, small. But anyway, this is the best method of the elution here, because all three are separated very nicely. In this way you can get the separation very nicely like this. Okay, so this is how we can get the A, and this is B, and this is C, and these are the partitions. So first fraction, and this is second fraction. Okay, and whatever this middle gap is there, this one, so that is what here, solvent, like this, solute. So this is your solvent like this. Okay, so whatever this gap you are finding here, this is a solvent like this. So here, okay, like this. But anyway, you are going to get all three separated very nicely. So that's why in most of the column chromatography you can see that the elution type of analysis is very better than compared to displacement. Is totally complicated. And but what is that first one, frontier frontal analysis, that is a premium, so very one can be separated from the rest of the compound. That also is not so much applied, but this is the most applied elution analysis, because all is been separated very nicely. All three components from the compound can be separated easily. Okay, this is what. And this has two types of analysis here. So the this one, elution type of analysis, that is isocratic. This word is used maximum for column chromatography. And gradient. Okay, isocratic and gradient. Isocratic means you can see that the once you are using this mobile phase, the same mobile phase is used throughout. Okay, composition. So there is no change in the mobile phase. It's been done in isocratic. But gradient, you can see that the mobile phase is been varied here. Okay, so you can take the weak type of solvent as well as strong. Weak and strong combination of the solvent is used in the gradient. And you can see that it is used in the as a mobile phase during the separation. Okay, so this is what about the column chromatography's initial stage here. So in the next video we'll go for the further concepts of the column chromatography. Okay, thank you.